And when they were come into the ship, the wind ceased. Mark, and he went up to them into the ship, and the wind ceased. So because there's no mention of Peter and this story in Mark, it just says he went into the ship. That should be evidence that just because a gospel account only mentions one person, like for example the one Gadarene demoniac instead of both, as it was in Mark and both was in Matthew, that it doesn't mean there was only one. You're just mentioning one. This story definitely happened. They both got back into the ship, even though Mark only mentions he went up into the ship. John, then they willingly receive him into the ship. No mention of the storm. So they willingly receive him into the ship. When they were come into the ship, he went up into the ship, and they willingly received him. That would work. Or, and they willingly received him, and he went up into the ship. I would like it to be they willingly received him as he went up into the ship, but that's not an option. I think I should say they received him and he went into the ship, because them receiving him would be at the exact same time that he's getting into the ship. But if he gets into the ship and then it says they received him, it might make it seem as if they didn't welcome him until the last minute that he's finally in the ship. I know it's not like that, but I think it would be more clear that the whole time, knowing that it's him, Peter did walk out to him because he believed. They know it's Jesus, so they are welcoming him, willingly receiving him as he's coming along and as he gets into the ship. So their attitude should be mentioned before he actually finishes getting into the ship. So I'll put that first. Then they willingly received him. Actually, no, that couldn't work because they only received him. I don't know if it would fit to say they received them. And them isn't even here. In Matthew, it has when they, Peter and Jesus, were come into the ship. So I couldn't have they. They willingly received they. No. Them is in Mark, but that's speaking about the disciples, not Peter and Jesus. And he went up to them into the ship. So I don't want to switch that around and say they willingly received them, because that would be changing the meaning of what this word is signifying. So I think I might actually have to say, and when they were come into the ship. Or maybe I should have, and then from John, and then when they were come into the ship, they willingly received him. Because at first they were afraid, thought it was a spirit, but no, now they receive. I mean, they are receiving Peter, but Peter was already part of the group. He was already there with them, so they're not receiving Peter. He's just coming back. They're receiving Jesus, so that would work. And then I could say they willingly received him and the wind ceased. Yeah, that's how it is in Mark. So I'll start with Matthew and when they were coming to the ship, but I will put then from John, and then when they were come into the ship. I don't know how else to have it fit with the two of them getting into the ship and being received. So this is Matthew only first. Wait, what's in Mark? And he went up to them. Actually, okay, that's Matthew and Mark. And then. Or maybe I should say then, when they were coming to the ship, they willingly... No. No, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave out then. Because after the wind ceased, it says in verse 33, the very next verse after they were coming to the ship, it says, then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, of a truth you are the Son of God. Yeah, so that should come last now. They willingly received him, and then the next verse, then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him. So I'll save then for the next verse. Anyway, I'll just start with and this will be from Matthew and Mark, because they both have that word first. And when they were come into the ship, he went up into the ship. Maybe I could say they went up to them. That's weird. And he went up into the ship. And when they were come, oh, I could have, and when they were come and went up into the ship. Yeah. So I'll have to take that back, start with Matthew only. And when they were come and went up to them. Actually, I think I could put when they were come to them, because just having and when they were come as a sentence in and of itself sounds kind of weird. But I could say to them from Mark, and when they were come to them and went up into the ship. Would that work? And when they were come and went up to them into the ship. And when they were come and went up to them into the ship. If I use to them now and then put and went up, that would be taking two words from the verse and putting that before three words from the very same verse. And I don't know if it would be better if I did that. When they were come to them and went up into the ship. Actually, I think that would be better instead of and when they were come and went up into the ship. Yeah, I'll just put to them next from Mark. Now, into the ship is both Matthew and Mark. Is that in John? Yes, it is. It's all three, which means it's the darker gray. Into the ship. Then, before the wind ceases, I have to say, they willingly received him. Actually, maybe I should have they willingly received him up into the ship. No, if I do that, I couldn't have and went then. And when they were come to them and went, then they willingly received. No, it doesn't work. Maybe I could have went earlier, where it was before, and get rid of were come. And when they went up, and when they went up to them, they willingly received him into the ship. No, but still, that would be they received them into the ship. You know, I think received him. I might have to exchange that with them. Even though it means them, the disciples. When they, Peter and Jesus, were come, or went, when they went up into the ship. No. Oh man, this is so difficult. My goodness. I'm just going to write it out and see if another possible solution presents itself. Went up into the ship. Then they willingly received him. No, I can't do that. I can't have went up into the ship and received him into the ship. Yeah, I have to leave out then. So I'm just going to go with they. And when they were come to them and went up into the ship, they willingly received him. No, that's not right. I don't know why, but that's just not right. I think it's because I know received doesn't mean welcoming. It means taking. It's as if they are bringing him into the ship. It is underlined, and in John it means took. They willingly took him into the ship. But I can't have went up into the ship and received him into the ship. He either went up or they received him. Who's doing the action? Is he doing the action or are they doing the action? Are they receiving him? Or is he going in? I don't know how to put both. He went in and they took him in. That's how it is now. Went into the ship and they willingly received him. They willingly took him in. But it just doesn't sound right. I don't know why. When they were come to them and went up into the ship, they willingly received him.